Eight is Enough, 1977, 1981 captured hearts, with its mix of humor, love, and family drama, becoming one of the most memorable shows of its era. Centered on the Bradford family, the series turned its young cast into household names and gave viewers a heartfelt glimpse into the ups and downs of family life. But after the cameras stopped rolling, the lives of its stars took very different turns. Some found lasting success in Hollywood, others faced personal struggles, and a few faded quietly from the spotlight. In 2025, fans still ask what really happened to the cast of Eight is Enough. Dick Van Patten was born on December 9, 1928 in New York City, and was 48 when Eight is Enough premiered in 1977, taking on the role of Tom Bradford, the patient, witty, and slightly beleaguered patriarch of a sprawling family of 8 children. Tom Bradford was more than just a television dad. He was a moral anchor and emotional center, a man whose warmth and humility contrasted sharply with the chaos of his household and endeared him to audiences across the nation. Van Patten's own early life was a crucible of discipline and exposure to the entertainment industry. He began as a child actor, navigating New York's theater scene, often facing financial instability, strict stage coaches, and the relentless pressure to perform, which instilled both resilience and a keen sense of public perception. His career trajectory included moments of uncertainty and professional setbacks, such as nearly losing roles to younger actors or facing industry typecasting. But Van Patten's charisma and versatility ensured steady work across film and television. While largely scandal-free, he lived a life punctuated by entrepreneurial ventures, notably founding Natural Balance Pet Foods, and by personal tragedies, including the early death of his mother and the pressures of balancing fame with family life. Van Patten's personal life reflected both stability and the subtle strains of Hollywood. He was married to Patricia Poole for decades, yet insiders noted the occasional tension between his on-screen persona and private responsibilities. His later years saw declining health from diabetes and related complications, yet he remained active in charitable work, particularly for guide dogs. He passed away on June 23, 2015, at age 86, leaving an estate valued at around $5 million, a mix of acting income, business profits, and philanthropic legacy, cementing him as both a beloved television icon and a quietly savvy businessman who navigated the temptations and pitfalls of fame with dignity. Adam Rich was born on October 12, 1968, in New York City, and was only 9 years old when he assumed the role of Nicholas Bradford in Eight is Enough in 1907, quickly becoming the beloved youngest child whose charm and pageboy haircut made him a national icon. Nicholas's innocence, humor, and precociousness captivated audiences. Yet behind the scenes, Rich's early fame masked an unstable childhood raised amid the pressures of sudden celebrity. He faced emotional neglect, isolation, and the constant scrutiny of fans and industry insiders, fostering a deep vulnerability that would shape his later life. Career-wise, Rich struggled with the transition from child star to adult actor, confronting rejection, typecasting, and the absence of reliable guidance, leading to destructive behaviors, including a Valium overdose at 17, a shoplifting arrest, and repeated DUIs, with Dick Van Patten famously posting bail to help him avoid harsher consequences. His personal life mirrored these challenges: romantic and social instability, struggles with addiction, and intermittent estrangement from family compounded the pressures of maintaining a public persona. Despite sporadic attempts to regain professional footing, his later years were marked by financial strain and personal health challenges, including ongoing battles with substance abuse. Adam Rich tragically died on January 7, 2023, at age 54 from an accidental fentanyl overdose, a sobering conclusion to a life that oscillated between adoration and turmoil. At the time of his death, His net worth was estimated at $500,000, underscoring the precarious balance between early fame and long-term security, leaving a legacy tinged with both nostalgia and cautionary lessons about the costs of childhood stardom in Hollywood. Lonnie O'Grady was born Lenita Rosie Pontegrati on October 2, 1954 in Walnut Grove, California, and was just 23 when she stepped into the role of Mary Bradford in 8 is Enough in 1977, portraying the eldest daughter whose intelligence, composure, and moral clarity made her both a voice of reason within the family and a character viewers deeply admired. Mary's persona as a bright, aspiring medical professional often masked the stormy reality of O'Grady's personal life. She endured profound struggles with anxiety, depression, and addiction that were exacerbated by the pressures of early fame and Hollywood's unforgiving pace. Her childhood had been marked by familial instability, a sense of underachievement, and the constant need to appear composed while battling internalized self-doubt. Professionally, O'Grady faced challenges that included being typecast and the difficulty of transitioning from teen idol to adult actress. Her later years in the entertainment industry were marred by publicized stints in rehab and a lawsuit against Cedars-Sinai for alleged mistreatment during detox, highlighting the precarious intersection of celebrity and vulnerability. Her personal life, similarly turbulent, included estranged family relationships and a series of intimate struggles with addiction that ultimately culminated in her untimely death. Despite these hardships, she demonstrated resilience by reinventing herself as a talent agent and counselor, applying her experience to help others navigate the entertainment world. O'Grady died tragically on September 25, 2001 at age 46, due to multiple drug intoxication involving Vicodin and Prozac. At the time of her death, her net worth was estimated at $3 million, reflecting both her successful acting career and her work behind the scenes, and leaving behind a legacy that juxtaposed early promise with private battles that few outside her inner circle fully understood. Michael Toma, born December 4, 1926 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was 50 when 8 is Enough premiered, portraying Dr. Greg Maxwell, the empathetic, steadfast family friend who provided moral guidance and emotional grounding to the Bradfords. Maxwell was a figure of calm authority and wisdom, and Toma's portrayal earned admiration for its sincerity and understated charm. His upbringing was marked by hardship. His family struggled financially during the Great Depression, forcing young Toma to mature quickly and mask his vulnerabilities behind a composed exterior. Early ridicule and social setbacks cultivated a quiet determination to excel academically and professionally. Toma's career included teaching at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts and contributing significantly to theater education, yet he occasionally faced professional disappointments, such as productions closing early or students failing to meet expectations. Off-screen, he was married 3 times, including to actress Rosemary Prinz, and had to navigate complex family dynamics, divorces, and the challenges of raising children amidst a demanding career. While there are no reported scandals, his life was shadowed by persistent health struggles and the emotional toll of balancing teaching with acting. Toma's greatest personal and professional trial came during his battle with cancer, which lasted 2 years, significantly curtailing his activities and leading to a quiet withdrawal from the public eye. He died on September 3, 1982, at age 55, leaving behind a modest estate reflective of his career in education and acting, with his influence more felt in the lives of students and protégés than in material wealth. Toma's legacy is that of a dedicated educator and actor whose integrity and steadiness mirrored the character he embodied on screen, leaving an understated but enduring mark on both television and theater. Connie Needham was born Connie Marie Bowen on December 5, 1959 in Anaheim, California, and was 17 when she began portraying Elizabeth Bradford in Eight is Enough in 1977, the spirited, rebellious middle daughter whose vivacious personality and teenage angst injected drama, humor, and unpredictability into the series. Elizabeth was frequently the catalyst for family tensions and narrative twists, embodying both independence and impulsivity traits that mirrored aspects of Needham's real life as she navigated the complexities of early fame in Hollywood. Her childhood was marked by modest means and exposure to rigorous artistic training, including ballet, which instilled discipline, and a perfectionist streak that contrasted with her naturally outgoing personality. Professionally, she faced challenges transitioning from teen roles to adult opportunities, experiencing brief, publicized difficulties, dating co-stars, and negotiating the pressures of a rapidly maturing image under industry scrutiny. While largely scandal-free, her personal life included intimate turbulence, including a high-profile marriage to set designer David Needham during the show's run, and later struggles with balancing family health challenges and career ambitions. In 2009, she confronted a serious health scare with an ovarian cancer diagnosis, a challenge she overcame, further highlighting her resilience. Today, she has channeled her experience into teaching dance in Orange County, advocating for cancer awareness, and fostering artistic development in her students. At 65, her current net worth is estimated between $500,000 and $1 million, a reflection of modest earnings from her acting career and dance studio, underscoring a life that blends early fame with a quietly successful pivot into education, mentorship, and personal advocacy, while navigating the long shadows cast by childhood exposure to Hollywood's pressures. Susan Richardson was born on March 11, 1952 in Coatesville, Pennsylvania, and was 25 when she stepped into the role of Susan Bradford in Eight is Enough in 1977, embodying the sweet, nurturing middle daughter, tasked with maintaining harmony among her many siblings. Susan's on-screen persona of patience, empathy, and quiet strength resonated with audiences, offering a stabilizing presence amid the show's familial chaos, and her charm made her the anchor of the Bradford girls' storylines. Yet, behind the camera, Richardson's life diverged dramatically from her wholesome image. Her upbringing in a working-class Pennsylvania family was marred by financial insecurity and early exposure to instability, fostering a guarded and sometimes secretive demeanor. Career-wise, she struggled to transition from her early fame. Typecast as the good girl, Richardson faced repeated rejections and found herself exploited by a Hollywood that prized youth and appearance, leading to episodes of depression and self-destructive coping behaviors, including a well-documented battle with cocaine addiction in the 1980s following postpartum weight gain. Personal life challenges compounded her professional frustrations, multiple failed marriages, custody disputes, and periods of isolation, including a controversial claim of being held captive in South Korea, which drew tabloid scrutiny and a descent into poverty, living in a deteriorating trailer while managing diabetes, strokes, and dental decay. Despite these tribulations, she continued to work as a caregiver and authored children's books, seeking some sense of purpose. Today, at 73, her net worth is estimated at around $200,000, a stark reminder of the gap between early celebrity and long-term financial security, reflecting a life that oscillated between public adoration and private hardship, marked by resilience amid scandal and misfortune. Grant Goodeve, born July 6, 1952 in Middlebury, Connecticut, was 25 when he assumed the role of David Bradford in Eight is Enough in 1977, portraying the dependable, thoughtful eldest son whose natural charisma and moral compass often positioned him as the surrogate patriarch. David's character exuded responsibility, patience, and quiet heroism, acting as the stabilizing force within a chaotic family, earning audience admiration for his grounded wisdom amidst sitcom melodrama. Goodeve's own upbringing mirrored aspects of his on-screen persona. He grew up in a devout, structured household, though financial constraints and the pressures of parental expectations imposed emotional burdens that he carefully concealed, cultivating a poised exterior while managing internal anxieties. Professionally, Goodeve navigated the treacherous waters of early fame with relative prudence, but he faced the limitations of typecasting, with producers and casting directors often seeing him solely as the wholesome, reliable figure. This pigeonholing made it difficult to break into more challenging roles. Despite avoiding major scandals, he endured behind-the-scenes tensions over salary negotiations and creative disagreements, and the collapse of several early projects tested his resilience. Personally, his life has been remarkably stable by Hollywood standards, yet maintaining a long marriage since 1978 and raising 3 children while sustaining a career in voice acting, hosting, and occasional film work required constant balancing. Goodeve also demonstrated musical talent, recording the show's theme song and contributing vocals to other projects, reflecting a multidimensional artistry often overlooked. As of 2020, at 73, he remains active in selective projects and ministry work with a net worth estimated at $500,000, derived from a combination of acting, voice work, and hosting, representing a modest but secure financial foundation that underscores a career built on integrity and quiet endurance rather than headline-making extravagance. Willie Aames, born July 15, 1960 in Newport Beach, California, was 17 when he took on the role of Tommy Bradford in 8 is Enough in 1977, portraying the mischievous, energetic, and irrepressibly impish son whose antics frequently drove the show's comic situations while revealing deeper emotional layers. Tommy's character embodied youthful rebellion, impulsivity, and an insatiable curiosity, traits that resonated with audiences but mirrored Aames's own tumultuous adolescence, marked by early exposure to Hollywood pressures, intense public scrutiny, and the constant demand to perform beyond his years. Childhood instability, rooted in a demanding family environment, and the stresses of early show business exposure contributed to Aames's later struggles with substance abuse, financial mismanagement, and the volatility of fame. Professionally, while he achieved early success with 8 is Enough and later Charles in Charge, his career trajectory was punctuated by setbacks. Typecasting, publicized personal difficulties, and bankruptcy undermined his reputation. Yet, he demonstrated resilience by reinventing himself as a Christian entertainer through the creation of Biblemen and working as a cruise director. His personal life was equally turbulent, encompassing 3 marriages, romantic challenges, and periods of estrangement from family. Yet these experiences shaped his later advocacy for sobriety and responsible living. Health and lifestyle challenges intersected with professional instability, compelling Aames to navigate the complex terrain of recovery, personal growth, and career adaptation. As of 2025, at 65, he has achieved relative stability in both personal and professional realms, with a current net worth estimated at $1 million, reflecting earnings from acting, entrepreneurial projects, and voice work, marking a journey defined by resilience, reinvention, and the ongoing reconciliation of youthful promise with adult responsibility. Betty Buckley, born July 3, 1947 in Fort Worth, Texas, was 30 when she joined 8 is Enough in 1977 as Sandra Sue Abby Abbott Bradford, the compassionate and intelligent stepmother whose presence stabilized the chaotic Bradford household after the loss of the original matriarch. Abby's character was a blend of nurturing warmth and quiet authority, often mediating sibling conflicts and acting as the emotional glue that held the family together. Off-screen, Buckley's journey to stardom was far from smooth. She grew up in a financially strained household where her father's temper and her mother's strictness forced her to navigate early life with caution and resilience. Repeated childhood humiliations at school, coupled with a persistent sense of being an outsider, forged her stage presence and emotional depth. Professionally, Buckley faced the harsh realities of Hollywood and Broadway. She endured countless auditions, near misses, and a period of stagnation before landing her breakout roles. Despite avoiding scandal, she was intensely private and notoriously protective of her personal life, rumored to have turned down lucrative film offers to preserve her artistic integrity. Her most publicly noted failure may have been the mixed reception to the film version of Carrie, where her performance was lauded, but the movie's controversy and horror content overshadowed her contributions. In personal life, she had a brief marriage to Peter Flood and no children, navigating relationships while balancing a demanding career, often withdrawing from romantic involvement to focus on her craft. Buckley also faced professional disappointments when touring productions or shows she invested in financially underperformed. As of 2025, she is 78 years old, continuing to act and teach music, living a relatively quiet life, while maintaining a net worth estimated at $4 million derived from decades of stage triumphs, television work, and recordings. Her reputation as a deeply spiritual, disciplined, and fiercely talented actress endures with influence that stretches across Broadway television and beyond. Joan Prather, born October 17, 1950 in Dallas, Texas, was 27 when she joined 8 Is Enough in 1979 as Janet MacArthur Bradford, the poised and supportive wife of David Bradford, whose calm demeanor often served as the emotional anchor in the later seasons. Janet's character exuded elegance and intelligence, a balancing counterpoint to the chaotic, sprawling Bradford household, and became a subtle fan favorite for her resilience and quiet wisdom. Prather's own upbringing was far from serene. She grew up in a household fractured by financial instability and parental discord, experiencing frequent ridicule at school for her introverted nature and intellectual leanings, which pushed her to develop a guarded, almost secretive persona. Her early career was a mixture of promise and turbulence. After moving to Hollywood, she was drawn into Scientology, ultimately becoming a devout follower, and reportedly introducing John Travolta to the faith on the set of The Devil's Reign, which led to rumors of internal tension and whispered controversies among her peers. Prather's later life saw moments of notoriety, including a 2015 arrest during a traffic incident involving a police officer, reflecting a streak of rebellion that contrasted sharply with her previously restrained public image. Despite this, she managed to avoid the broader scandals that entangled many contemporaries, though her career effectively ended by 1989, a victim in part to the volatility of fame and the fickleness of Hollywood casting. On a personal level, Prather's stability emerged through her marriage to a Scientology minister, finding refuge in religion rather than the limelight. And she has deliberately maintained a low profile, cultivating a quiet domestic life. As of 2025, she is 74 years old, living privately with an estimated net worth of $1 million accumulated from acting residuals, early investments, and careful management of her earnings, a testament to a career and life that navigated both the bright allure and the shadowy perils of Hollywood fame. Jennifer Darling, born June 19, 1946 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, was 31 when she appeared in 8 Is Enough as Donna, a recurring character who brought humor, eccentricity, and a lively spark to the Bradford household. Donna was the quintessential quirky friend, her presence injecting levity and whimsy into family dynamics and providing audiences with memorable, light-hearted interludes. Darling's childhood was complicated by economic instability and the death of her father. When she was young, experiences that instilled resilience, creativity, and a tendency to hide her insecurities behind charm and performance. Early rejection and teasing motivated her to pursue improvisational comedy and voice acting, developing a career that spanned stage television and animation. Despite her successes, Darling faced significant industry challenges, including typecasting uncredited roles and periods of professional invisibility between high-profile projects. She was known among peers for her quick wit and relentless energy, but could be demanding on set, occasionally clashing with directors or co-stars who did not appreciate her improvisational style. While she avoided sensational scandals, her personal life included the challenges of maintaining long-term relationships in a career marked by unpredictability and travel. Darling retired quietly in 2015, focusing on her family and mentoring younger performers. At 79, her current net worth is estimated between $500,000 and $1 million, largely derived from voice acting royalties, minor television roles, and theatrical performances. Darling's career, though understated in mainstream fame, reflects a dedication to craft resilience in the face of adversity and an enduring contribution to both live action and animated entertainment, leaving a legacy as a versatile performer who transformed adversity into art. Brian Patrick Clark, born August 1, 1952 in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, was 25 when he assumed the role of Merle the Pearl Stockwell on 8 is Enough, portraying the cocky yet endearing professional baseball player who married Susan Bradford, often serving as a foil to the family's structured world with charm, bravado, and occasional missteps. Merle's charisma and on-screen charm reflected a depth that belied the typical sitcom trope, highlighting vulnerability beneath confidence and making him a memorable, if sometimes polarizing, presence within the ensemble. Clark's childhood was imbued with both privilege and pressure. Athletic achievement was paramount, yet frequent relocation and the rigid expectations of an academically and athletically competitive family instilled in him a sense of displacement and the need to constantly prove his worth, experiences that influenced his on-screen persona's combination of bravado and insecurity. Professionally, Clark navigated the transition from sports stardom — he was a Yale football standout and marathon runner — to Hollywood, where he faced the challenges of typecasting and the precarious nature of television fame. He avoided major scandals, but stories circulate of behind-the-scenes friction on long-running sets, including tense negotiations over billing and creative input, with the occasional clash between his disciplined athletic mentality and the unpredictable pace of Hollywood productions. Clark married Olympic gymnast Kathy Johnson, and together they have 2 sons, one of whom achieved recognition in pole vaulting, reflecting a family life anchored by achievement and competition, though rumors of interpersonal tensions and private quarrels occasionally surfaced in tabloids. Despite these pressures, Clark maintained a relatively stable public persona, leveraging his athletic fame to secure guest roles on series such as CSI Miami and Baywatch, while also branching into sports-related ventures. As of 2025, he is 73 years old, residing quietly with his family, and his net worth is estimated at $2 million, earned through decades of combined television work, athletic accomplishments, and judicious investment, offering a portrait of a life balancing public success and private discipline. Ralph Macchio, born November 4, 1961 in Huntington, New York, was 16 when he joined 8 is Enough in 1980 as Jeremy Andretti, the rebellious and sensitive cousin whose youthful energy, artistic leanings, and emotional candor injected fresh vitality into the Bradford household. Jeremy's character embodied the quintessential coming-of-age angst and the complexities of adolescent identity, often acting as the bridge between generational conflicts while highlighting the tensions of sibling-like rivalries and the pressure of high expectations, which made him relatable to a broad audience and a precursor to Macchio's breakout as Daniel LaRusso in The Karate Kid. Macchio's early life was marked by modest means and familial instability, including the death of his father when he was young, which cast a shadow over his adolescence and instilled in him a profound sensitivity and resilience that informed his performances. His early career was punctuated by the precariousness of child and teen stardom, navigating the dual pressures of auditions and typecasting with occasional tension on set, as adult co-stars adjusted to the presence of a precocious teen actor. Macchio avoided scandals entirely, maintaining a clean public image despite the intense scrutiny of his youthful fame, and his personal life flourished through stability, married to childhood sweetheart Phyllis Fierro. Since 1987, he has 2 children and carefully managed the transition from teen idol to respected actor. Professionally, Macchio experienced both highs and potential setbacks, including the risk of being forever associated with Daniel LaRusso. Yet, he successfully rejuvenated his career with Cobra Kai, garnering critical acclaim and introducing him to a new generation of viewers while generating lucrative financial opportunities. As of 2025, he is 63 years old, actively involved in acting and public appearances, and his net worth is estimated at $8 million, derived from film royalties, Netflix deals, and ongoing engagements, showcasing a career that deftly combined early promise, disciplined personal management, and the strategic navigation of Hollywood's fickle spotlight to sustain relevance across decades. Laurie Walters was born on January 8, 1947, in San Francisco, California, and was 30 when she took on the role of Joni Bradford in 8 is Enough, in 1977, portraying the second oldest daughter whose artistic ambitions and independent spirit often created friction within the family. Joni's character was emotionally complex, sometimes brash, yet always principled, resonating with viewers who identified with her struggle for self-definition against the backdrop of parental expectations and sibling rivalries. Walter's own childhood was defined by modest circumstances and early pressures to conform to societal norms, prompting her to cultivate a quiet tenacity and a capacity for deep empathy traits that informed her nuanced portrayal. Professionally, she navigated a challenging Hollywood landscape facing typecasting and limited roles due to age and looks, which she countered by cultivating a theater career and later environmental activism, embracing a life of intellectual engagement over tabloid fame. Off-screen Walters experienced relatively few scandals, although the unconventional dynamic of playing a daughter older than her on-screen stepmother, Betty Buckley, drew subtle media commentary highlighting the peculiar pressures of Hollywood casting. Personal stability came through dedication to the arts, with no known marital turmoil or public disputes, allowing her to maintain privacy and control over her life choices. She retired from acting in 2007 and now lives quietly in California. At 78, her current net worth is estimated between $100,000 and $1 million, reflecting a career built on steady work and principled independence, rather than sensational headlines demonstrating how longevity and discretion can balance the turbulence of early fame. Thank you for joining us on this nostalgic journey through classic television history. If you enjoyed learning about the cast of 8 is Enough and where they are now, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more vintage Hollywood retrospectives, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing your memories and suggestions, so Let us know which TV show or movie cast you'd like us to feature next.